Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Kathie J Show. I'm Kathie J, and joining me today, he's my homie, he's my best friend. I love him to death. He's my baby daddy. Everybody, please welcome to the show, Stewart Tucker Lundy. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
I love you. I'm your cheerleader.
I love you too.
Yay, Stewart.
I love it. I love the fact that you're always in my corner.
I love it. Well, you're always in my corner. We've been in each other's corners since we met.
A long time.
A long time ago.
In the little itty bitty elevator going down. Going down the elevator shaft, and we made a moment happen. So
you came to the Everyday Show when I was on the Everyday Show with Chris Parente, and you and your wife Marci came, and you were coming for Craig Hospital.
Craig Hospital, yes, we were doing a campaign called Redefining Possible,
yes.
And so a guy named Barry Gutierrez, who is a Pulitzer Prize winning photographer. He put together some fabulous photographs.
So he took photographs of a lot of people with spinal injuries.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yes. And you were one of those. You were one of the.
Yeah.
You were one of the
I was
figures.
The guy.
Yeah. It was awesome.
The guy with the cigar, or the facsimile of a cigar, because we couldn't actually have me smoking a cigar because it was a hospital. So yeah,
well, Stewart, I mean, you are one cool dude. So I mean, your photo was definitely cool with the cigar.
Nice.
It was such a cool photo,
and that young lady had a lot to do with it too.
Well, Marci, your wife, definitely has the style. I mean, she dressed you. I mean, let's just say you're nothing without her.
You got that right. Be butt naked. That's what I'd be.
That's where you'd be right now. It'd be a whole different interview.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly. A fig leaf or banana leaf. I don't know.
But Stewart, you're here today, and I've interviewed you a lot over the years, but you're here today, and you actually gave me some questions to ask you, which I am really excited about. Before we get to the questions, I want to just fill everybody in about your accident, because you were not born like this.
No,
please.
I wasn't. Actually, let's see, gosh, it feels like I've told this story so many times.
I know you have.
No.
But I think it's very valuable for people to hear, especially with summer coming up.
Definitely.
Yes.
Definitely. I was 14 years old. I was visiting my brother in Shreveport, Louisiana. I'm originally from Camp Springs, Maryland, right outside of D.C. area. And so I went down to Camp Springs, Shreveport, Louisiana, to visit my brother. I'd been there probably maybe not even 3 days. And his friends were like, hey, well, can we come by and pick up your brother? Because we know he's in town and my brother's at work. So, just to get the guy to do
Give him something to do, right.
It took me to a lake, and I had never been to a lake in my life.
That's crazy coming from Maryland. You hadn't been to a lake.
But and I also swam and dove competitively also. So
you did? You swam and dove competitively. Okay, so you were a swimming pool guy.
I wanted to be a marine biologist, to be quite honest.
Wow, I didn't know that. Yeah. So you loved the water.
Yeah, I would go to, in the summertime, I would go to the pool around 8:30, 9 o'clock, and I wouldn't come back home until maybe 2:30, 3 o'clock. And,
wow. So when someone said we're taking you to the lake, this was very exciting for you.
It was exciting, yeah. I wish I didn't know the other half of it. But
yeah, okay. All right. So
the other half was I got there, and it was friends of Nate, like I said, my brother, and we were just kind of chilling, and stepped out of my moccasins. I remember when moccasins
You
were
were wearing moccasins.
Yeah, I'm taking way back.
With the little fringe along the ankle.
Yes, Yep, exactly. So I stepped out with moccasins and got in that hot Louisiana sand. Oh, it's so enriching to the soul. But it makes you move so fast.
Yes, hot.
So I started running and sprinting, and I took a dive and into about as much more water as maybe your viewers would have on their probably less than that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's how much water was there that you dove into.
Yep. So I just leapt into the water.
So more or less, you just crushed your spine.
I crushed your spine. See, actually, I bruised my spinal cord. It was C4, C5 on my vertebrae.
C4, C5 on your vertebrae.
Mm-hmm. And it was just bruised. Actually, this is just a bruise. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
It can happen that way. It rendered me C4, C5. And also incomplete. And so that meant that I have feeling. I just don't have the ability to move and things like that. So from what you see is, and what it gets me is from the chest down. So
so from here down?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're able to take breaths. Mm-hmm. Okay, and I see you're able to move.
Move, yeah. What would give you more of a guideline for that? It would be Christopher Reed would be a C2, C3. He was very high, couldn't move his hands or anything like that.
Right. He had to breathe into a tube to move his chair. Right.
Exactly. So that's a sip and puff and system. But he was more like a C2, C3, and I was C4, C5.
Okay, so
it's
you're a little lower.
further
Okay.
down. Yeah, exactly. So yeah.
Now, everyone, this is my friend Stewart Tucker Lundy. He's hashtag wheelchairbosslife. He's been making it happen. So you're 14 when this happened to you.
Yes.
Yeah, a child, absolutely. But you'd already done so much and seen so much, and then to all of a sudden have your world be turned upside down to this. You now have a unique perspective, I feel, on living in a wheelchair that other people don't have.
I think so. I mean, because you're put in a different. I was put in a different world where I always like people. I've always liked people. I mean, that's just me. But I think that it's a different world, but it's also one that it's livable. It's quality of life, but it's as far as the waking up. I think Jen Dale over at Craig Hospital said it. You wake up, go to sleep one way, and wake up another way, and it's sobering.
Yeah, sobering. Well, it's also, it's sobering for your friends and your family. Now they become caregivers. Yeah. How did that happen when you were 14? Was it your mother or did you have nurses? How did that?
Well, actually, we had to figure it out. Being out in Camp Springs, Maryland, we didn't have Craig. Craig Hospital, if you go Google it, is a wonderful and renowned spinal cord hospital.
Craig Hospital here in Colorado. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, a lot of the stuff that they teach these folks now, we had to figure it out. I had to figure it out. My mother
had to figure it out with your mom.
Yeah. So it was more or less just reading up. My mother always made it a big point to make me aware of what was going on with my body all the time.
Okay.
So that was the power. As far as getting used to it, it was more, okay, this happened. What are you going to do about it? We got two things. I can put a bullet in my face and then act like nothing's happened, or just I'm not meant for this world. But that's not my choosing, and I don't think that's my destiny or anything like that. So I think it's more for me my mother would say, when people would often ask, well, how is Stewart doing? How is he coping with this? And she would tell them what I told her. It's just a minor inconvenience if you look at the whole bigger picture in life. So,
you mean the bigger picture, meaning you're alive?
Yeah.
Right. Totally.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, a lot of people, as my father would say, woke up dead this morning.
Right.
Messed up their day.
Right.
Messed up their day. Totally.
Not dead yet. We're still here.
Exactly.
And that is, you and I have been through a lot together of ups and downs, and that's kind of the only way to get through life, whether you're in a wheelchair or not, or whatever's hitting you.
The head down, going forward. And that's why it's for me essential to have quality of life.
Yes.
It is much. It's
so I'm glad you brought that up. So the questions. So so normally in the past we've talked about, I've asked you, like, what's it like having a disability? Do you feel that the world is nice to people with disabilities? We've gone there, but these are questions you wanted me to ask you.
Yeah.
So I'm going here. You ready?
Okay, yes. Mm-hmm.
And the first one is definitely a question I would want to know.
Okay.
And it leads into right where we just left off.
All right.
Share how you've maintained a positive outlook over all these years.
Because I don't want to die. Simply put, life is a lot better than death.
Amen. And the more you want to be sad and down, the more you're starting to put your foot in that door. Is that it?
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Exactly.
You have a lot of people who also you meet at Craig Hospital in your situation,
yes,
and you see whether their mental status is going way, right? Is that kind of what you're talking about?
Yeah, you can see. Sometimes I go up to Craig for different events, or for that matter, different businesses, things that I have to do up there. And, you can see, I see a lot of me that goes up there, and you see that what the F is going on, look on their face. Some of the new injuries, some of the, maybe they're just maybe 2-3 months in, and you have people that maybe are 6 years in. I'm almost 43, 42 years into this now.
That's crazy.
And so when you see it, and you see that look on their face, and, you just want to give that person some type of hope. And I do that through just living a normal life. And, I'm not a person that loves to be having these things in my face, cameras and things like that. They're necessary, and I think they're necessary for especially the marginalized group that I come from, people with disabilities, because we're not seen. If you're not seen, you're not heard.
Right.
And, subsequently, that it's a snowball. So, you can
We've
be
talked
pushed
about
away.
that. We've talked about the need for people, especially people with disabilities, to have a purpose. Like,
Yes.
like it's one
Yes.
thing I have a disability, like at least let me feel like I still can contribute and be a human with everyone else.
And it means the world.
So what hobbies or activities do you enjoy the most?
Everything.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that's vague.
Your wife's
No.
over there smiling. She's like, he does.
I do. I'm extremely nosy person. I am.
That's from your mother.
I am extreme. She knew it too. She knew when I was around when grown folks were talking, get your butt up and get out of here.
Right, get out of here,
Get out of
nosy.
here. No, what drives me is the fact that I'm nosy. I'm nosy about people. I see people. The human experience in general is just wonderful. Wonderful. We were born. We go through stuff. Everybody has it. Everybody has it. And then we die.
Yes, I agree. Piggybacking off of that, though, how can we help people with disabilities find their purpose? What are we more opportunities?
I think the support. I've got a lot of friends, and the few that I consider the homies, the top 9 in my phone. They've always been supporting whatever I need, or if they can help me. The support is phenomenal.
Yes, it is.
It is.
Talk about a particularly memorable experience or achievement that you're proud of.
Oh gosh.
Was it your Crocs commercial?
You know what? I think it may have been.
Was it when you were on stage on the musical? What was it?
I think it may have been the New York Times article.
Okay, tell everyone about it.
Okay, the New York Times article came along. I was doing a play with a group named Family, and that's with a PH. And they had cast me as President Roosevelt and Reagan Linton, the artistic director at that time. She gave me a call and she says, "Okay, well, they're coming by and they want to do a page on you and do some photos and things like that." And I'm like, "Who is they?"
Yeah.
And she said, "New York Times." And you know what, Kathie? It took me almost 3 years for that to settle in.
That you got interviewed by the New York Times.
That just settled in.
No, it's amazing. Like I get to tell people he was in the New York Times.
Yes.
What lessons has your journey taught you that you think everybody should know?
Patience, understanding, and patience. Patience.
You kind of have no choice but to be patient.
You're exactly right.
I mean, right?
Right. You're exactly right. I don't. And it's funny because I have an admiration for women that goes beyond a level of just. You guys are extraordinary, and the reason I'm going to.
He really does. I love how you talk about women. Your respect for women. Yes,
God,
right. I know. Lucky lady Marci, his wife. You just love women. Yes.
It's a way that
he loves how hard we work. He loves all of the what we put on our shoulders.
Everything. I mean, just everything. It's just. But the reason I say that is because I can identify with women, and I mean that from a vulnerability spot. Everything that a woman goes through, I can imagine what it's like. As far as being, there's times when before I met Marci, I had to have people that come in my house to help me. And so, you imagine somebody comes in your house and you have, from the time they come through the door, to assess if that person's going to hurt you, if that person's going to be your friend, if that person's going to be that person.
Right.
And now you got to spend the next 45 minutes to an hour with that person helping you get up.
Right.
So,
like they are right on against you, touching you.
They're touching you. They're physically doing stuff for you. So I often imagine what it's like to be a woman in this world and to always have that vulnerability.
Right. That at any moment someone feels that they can just touch your body.
Touch your body, or for that matter, you're vulnerable. You're extremely vulnerable all the time.
All the time.
I mean, God forbid, but anybody could come in and put a pillow over my head, and there's nothing I can do about it. So just think about that.
But this is what I say back to you, Stewart. Like, dude, you live downtown. You are on 16th Street. Like you rolled to the Pepsi Center for the Nuggets game and rolled home after. Like he is talking about somebody breaking in the bar. Like I get nervous about you being out there. But but you're like you said, it's your attitude. It's how you respect people.
It's how you treat people.
But I get nervous.
It's how you treat people. Honestly, if you look at people and look them in their eye and say hello and sincerely, how are you doing? it will, and that person can be as far as distance, maybe as far as that camera is away. Sorry, I didn't mean to bump that.
No, you're fine.
And within a fraction of a second, it's been 40 some odd years, you can look at the person and diffuse whatever situation by, and this doesn't go with all people, but look at that person and say hello, and it brings it down a notch.
No, it does. I always do. You know me. Say hi. Well, give respect. I think hello is also saying respect a little and letting somebody know I see you, like you said. Speaking of that, are there specific challenges that you face that you wish more people understood better?
Yeah, I think sometimes I always have this thing where my mother used to say I have a Kool-Aid, caviar taste and Kool-Aid money.
Yeah, we all do, Stewart. We all do.
So I think sometimes
And by the way, I have brought him Kool-Aid when I was coming over.
Yes, you have brought Kool-Aid over. Yes, you
have. He asked for that purple stuff one time. I was like, I'll bring it.
It is. But I say that because gosh, I lost my
I'm sorry. I asked you what your favorite. Your wish more people understood better.
Oh yes. It's the fact that we're not seen, and also this is sometimes a lonely world, a lonely existence.
It's a lonely world for people that are healthy, that have two legs, that can see, that can hear, that can use their, So please keep going where you're going.
No, I was going to say, if you know someone that has a disability, that has some type of barrier in their life, just kind of check on them every so often. Because, during the pandemic, I don't think many people knew that a lot of people were going into nursing homes because of the sole fact that there was no one to look after them. So what they did is they put these people in nursing homes. Some of these people are still in nursing homes. You don't want
to go to a nursing home. You hear that's death.
No, it is death.
Like it's just bed sores and death and bad.
It is. But sometimes the state would happily put you in a nursing home because it's a little bit cheaper.
Yeah, absolutely.
To do that
than someone
than
coming to your
come
house.
To your house.
Right.
Exactly. So it's a situation where I want more people to know. Check up on them. Because that person they may have a little bit of I want to say pride, and I think everybody does. But just say, hey, how you doing? And so how you doing?
Well, the problem that I see, Stewart, and I thank you so much for being here. Thank you, everybody. This is Stewart Tucker Lundy. He's one of my good friends. He and his wife, Marci. I love you both so much. And I'm going to do a separate one with Marci talking about caregiving because
she has been the bomb. I
see Marci because she has to wake up, get herself ready, then she gets you ready.
Yes.
And it takes about an hour to get you ready.
She's beating the clock here lately. So
she's amazing. She's like, whip him over, get that coat on.
She's like a pit crew, like an Andretti pit crew.
She's got it down.
She just got it down. I timed her.
Caregivers, she's strong. She does. So thank you, and I'll talk to you. We'll have that in the interview.
Caregivers in general.
Yes, caregivers in general. But one thing I do that that recently you told me about, and before we go, I just want to mention. When we see someone with a disability and they say, I want you to treat me like everyone else.
Yes.
I want to do that. I want to respect your wishes. But at the end of the day, I can't, because there are things that are just not, you're not like everybody else.
Yeah.
You have to have a special vehicle that brings you here. You have to have the temperature in the air has to be right.
For me, yes.
So I think that, can we ask somebody with a disability what's a way to say?
Well, yeah,
because it took me I was shoving meatballs down his throat, thinking I was feeding him, not realizing he needed to take time. Like his digestion didn't move because you're paralysis. There's things. How do we communicate?
Kathie doesn't know how to feed people. That's it. It was that George Bush doesn't care about black people. Kathie J does not know how to feed people.
Oh yeah, that's exactly right.
No, you were doing a fantastic job. It's just that, to answer the question, I think it's more that, if you see somebody with a disability, just treat them like you would anybody else. But also, if you're going to do something, just ask first. Because what you're doing is, you have to remember that these people and these folks, such as myself, I don't have autonomy over my body.
You're right.
So when you or anybody would say, I'll get this for you, or can I do such and such for you? Even if it's opening the door, sometimes you may have a person that has fought for their independence profusely.
Right.
And they want that independence. So my suggestion would be before you open that door, ask, hey,
Can I get this
can
for
I get
you?
that for you?
Right.
Because sometimes that person might be extremely volatile if you do it for them and resent you for
Right,
it.
and I don't want somebody to be
You
like,
don't
well,
want-
I'm never going to help anybody again or
that's
whatever.
And
Right.
those guys are out there. Those folks are out there. But
Yeah.
if you just, I think, cut it in half and just say, hey, you mind if I get that door for you? Or you need help getting that door? Hey, you mind such and
See,
such?
he's always got a cool way to say it. Hey, you mind if I help
it
you with
is.
that?
It is no problem.
Because then it's like, yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, you want to be nice
right.
and smile. I mean, the thing is, just have gratitude. I have on my Instagram page, and I heard it from a friend of mine. A light in me sees a light in you, and you see that when you're talking to people.
Always.
I see it in you right now.
I
Look
see
at
the
you.
light in
I
you.
see it right now.
Stewart, before I let you go, this is my last question. What are your hopes for the future regarding inclusivity and disabilities?
Oh gosh, I just want us to be included in everything. We have our GLBTQ population and community here in Colorado, which is a vibrant and strong community. A lot of our other communities, but I just want us to be just as strong and at equity. Sometimes the word equity is used quite a bit, and it's not practiced. It's only used.
Right.
It's only used. So I wanted to put it into practice. If you're going to talk about equity and diversity, why don't you put it
Remember
into practice?
what equity and diversity is. Yes, right.
Exactly.
They're standing up there on top of stairs, not realizing,
Exactly.
what do you mean you can't get up here? Yeah, I got
accessible.
you.
Everything's accessible. We have accessible loans. Oh, yes, of course you have accessible loans. You want to give me money.
Right.
But what about those stairs over there that I can't get up?
Exactly, right. I want to get in there. Stewart Tucker Lundy, thank you so much. How can people follow you?
Stewart Tucker Lundy on Instagram, or just use the hashtag wheelchairbosslife, and you can find me anywhere with
You'll
that.
find him, and he represents for Denver. You guys, especially the warm, once the weather gets nice, he and his wife are always out doing awesome
Got to
stuff.
parade my wife around.
I know. I would show your wife. I love your wife. I love you, Marci. Everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with us today.
so
And just remember, a little goes a long way. Share some kindness wherever you can. Share that smile. Have a good one. Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Stewart. I love you.
Kathie J.